There's a crackle on the radio, a story to be told about banjos on the hillside and voices paved in gold. Got a cold glass bottle, drop some peanuts in the coat, and I'm sitting on the front porch hanging on every note. The Front Porch Podcast, singing times gone by, with fiddle strings and heartache and the reasons why. We keep this music living, never let it fade so fast. Raise a toast to the legends on the Front Porch Podcast.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Good evening to you, and welcome back to the Front Porch Podcast. We have not had one of these in quite a while, but we're back tonight talking about a lot of different things. We're going to talk about Christmas. We're going to take a look back at the wonderful year of 2025. Was it so wonderful, really? We'll find that out. We'll talk about it a little bit. If I remember, I'm going to talk about Jelly Roll. I will also use the B word on this show tonight, as J-Cat has often said, that Kevin can't go a show without using the B word. So I will probably use that tonight as we reflect on 2025. But it's so good to have you here. You know, I hope it's slightly warm wherever you are, because here in Tennessee, it's nuts. Earlier this week, I think we were around 9 degrees, so it was chilly. Today, not bad, because I think it got up to the 60s today, but the wind, I have no idea in this little town I live in here in Middle Tennessee why the wind is so crazy. I feel like I live in Chicago sometimes, because the wind is blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing. I'm going to put my glasses on now so I can see what everybody's talking about. You know the rules here on the Front Porch Podcast. If you're tuned in, we'd love to say howdy to you, give you a shout out. So please let us know who you are, where you tuned in from tonight. We can give a shout out to your town, because on this show, we got folks from everywhere. We've had folks historically in Israel and England and New Zealand and Australia and Honduras, Central and South America, the West Coast, East Coast, Canada, all over the place. And even before the show starts, I'm like watching the chat area, and everybody's just talking to everybody, which is that's just so cool. I just got to scroll up here a little bit to see what everybody's saying, and if I missed anything good. Double D Double R was the first one to chime in, as he always is. He's in the land of cheese in Wisconsin, as I try to control my headphones here. And Double D Double R is always tuned in, always watching what's going on with the Country Music Time Machine, this incredible YouTube channel we have here, and the remnants of Facebook. I'll be talking about that in a minute, and over on TikTok too. But you know, we're still having fun no matter what the hackers say about everything. But it's good to have Double D Double R and also William May. He's always tuned in to us. He's over in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the home of the Tar Heels. J-Cat is in Portland, Oregon, watching right now, and J-Cat is giving me an idea. He's the one that turned me on to Mexican Coke, not the kind you snort, but the kind you drink that has the real sugar. But as you can see here, it's got the peanuts, but it's the American Coke, and I don't think it has the real sugar yet, because it doesn't say anything on here about real sugar. So I don't think we've made Coke great again yet, because it still tastes like the old Coke. But the Mexican Coke with the sugar is pretty darn good. But J-Cat says, and I'm going to pop this on the screen, he says, vanilla Coke with peanuts is kind of tasty. You know, I had a cherry Coke the other day, and I had it with ice, and to me, it was kind of tasty too. I enjoyed it. It was pretty good, but I didn't think in my brain at the time, maybe I should put peanuts in it. But maybe next time I'll do that, whether it's with cherry Coke or vanilla Coke. And William May is saying, good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. J-Cat saying, hello, William. Michael de Cosimo, 9787, is just down the road from me in Chattanooga, Tennessee, one of the most beautiful areas of the country. If you ever get a chance to go to Chattanooga, you should go, because it is a cool place to hang out. and I love going over to Chattanooga. It's so much fun. Double D Double R says, hi, J-Cat, William, Michael, Kevin, of course. And as I told you, J-Cat's checking in from Portland. We've got Cozy Books by the Fire. You know, I'm in front of the fireplace right now, and you can't see this on camera. But if I turn that fireplace, it's not a log fireplace, or a wood fireplace, it's a gas fireplace. If I turn that fireplace on right now, it would frickin' melt this laptop and my microphone at the lowest setting. I have no idea, because I just bought this house recently. I just moved here, and I have no idea how to control the heat. I turned the fire down low, but it nearly melts the interior of the house. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But Cozy Books by the Fire says, good evening, Kevin. From a cold, snowy New Jersey. Have been missing the Front Porch podcast. Have seen them in ages. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, my dear. Thank you so much for tuning in. And DDRR says, glad you're off the porch now, Kevin. Stay warm. Actually, the porch is not bad today. It's probably in the 50s right now, and I would probably be out there, but the wind is blowing, which causes some problem with equipment, and I don't want my light stands to blow down because they're not high-dollar light stands. They're just, economical light stands. So I said, I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to get in front of the Christmas tree. And if you guys remember the very first Front Porch podcast, which it wasn't called a Front Porch podcast back then, like it was a long time ago, was Christmas Eve 24 when I first thought of doing this. And the reason I first started doing this podcast, we've always done the videos on the channel itself, was because I was in a hotel room in Franklin, Tennessee, the Drury Inns and Suites. I can say it now, I'm protected. And, because I'm divorced, I have to share viewing and staying with my children, So for the last more than 10 years, Christmas Eve, I've been alone in a hotel room because she had the kids. Well, this Christmas Eve, we're going to be together, which is the first in a long time. So, but that was the first time I did a live podcast, and that was from a hotel room. And since then, I finished working for Uncle Sam overseas, came here and started doing it here. And I'm having, so much fun. Let's bring up Rita Harris. Rita Harris says, good evening, Kevin. Hope you had a wonderful day. Merry Christmas. Hope you have a very blessed Christmas. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Rita. And we do say Christmas around here. And I gotta share this insight with you. It has nothing to do with country music, but it's just an observation from me. It has been many, many years that I've spent the Christmas season in the U.S. I mean, I'm talking a lot of them because I was stationed overseas. And of course, I was retired now. I'm retired now recently, and I spent October Halloween here, and I saw houses all over the place decorated for Halloween with demons and spooks and ghosts and everything, and it was fun, and I enjoyed watching. I have someone across the field here from me. They decorated a lot for Halloween this year. Then they decorated for Christmas, just one string of lights. That's all it is. I can tell you what, I can tell the difference in at least in 15 years, I see less Christmas spirit. Maybe I'm going to the wrong place, and I still haven't met a girlfriend or anything like that locally that can take me to where the Christmas spirit is. But, it's got to be around here somewhere. But it just seems to be less than it used to be. So that's a little bit sad. But, we got the spirit around here. And for the first time in ages, I'm going to be spending Christmas Eve with my daughters and their friends, and that's cool. I'm going to enjoy it. EERR says, Merry Christmas to all the CMTM fans. Yes, Merry Christmas to all you guys. And before I get into this next part, because I hate to talk about what I'm going to talk about next. I hate it, but I'm going to talk about it because we should cover it. I want to tell you that next year I'm planning a new series called The United States of Country, where I'm planning to go to different states and do a vlogging style report from each state about what their impact is on country music history. I'm going to start here in Tennessee. My idea is to head to Bristol, where in 1927, if you know country music history, the Bristol Sessions happened, and that kicked off commercial country music. Country music did not begin in Bristol, but it sort of sprouted from there. Later, decades later, Nashville became the capital of country music, even though Nashville doesn't make a whole lot of country music nowadays. Think about that. They make a lot of music, but some of it doesn't sound like that traditional country music we know and love. But I'm going to be going to different states, starting off in Tennessee, maybe pop down to Alabama. Thinking about Muscle Shoals is a good place, or Fort Payne. I don't know. Muscle Shoals probably, because I know that's where Alabama recorded a lot of stuff, a lot of good recording studios down there. So maybe going down there. And J-Cat says, what about Sylvia? Well, Sylvia did not work out. She did not return my call. So Sylvia didn't go to the Country Music Association Christmas party. But I got to tell you about that. Two things. I did have a date to the Country Music Association Christmas party. I guess it was a one-time thing only because she is not in the mood to go out with me anymore. Maybe because I talk too much about country music. I don't know what it is. But we're friends, but she went with me. The weird thing about that, I should have put the picture somewhere, and I'd have brought up the picture. The weird thing about the Country Music Association Christmas party, great folks there, love those people, Kaylee and the gang. They did a good job with putting the Christmas celebration together for CMA, and there was a lot of stars there. Most of them I didn't know because, they weren't historically famous country stars, or some of them didn't even really sing country. I think I saw the people from, what do you call that band that sings cowgirl? Parmalee. I think they were there, at least one of the guys, or his identical twin was there. But the strange thing about the Christmas party was the music being played was rap music. I mean, I'm not talking about this country rap that we hear now. It was pure in the hood rap music. So I was sitting there like, what in the heck is this country boy doing here? We're at a CMA Christmas party. Why aren't we listening to country music? I guess the people weren't in the mood for country music. I don't know what happened with that. But it was a good party. I enjoyed it. And the CMA folks are great, and they do a good job with what they do. But just for whatever reason, at the bar where we were at, there was no country music. And a guy who lives and breathes country music, especially country music history, I don't know if that was very great for me. All right, now let's talk about something that I don't want to talk about. And I'm going to talk about it now. And after I talk about it and explain it, maybe in more detail, I will probably never talk about it again. Let's bring it on the screen. The country music scam machine. We did have a Facebook page. That Facebook page had 170,000 followers. A few weeks ago, it was hacked. Now, please understand, my degree is in computer science. I worked in cybersecurity for the State Department overseas as a U.S. diplomat for 24 years, and I protected network environments in Russia, Ukraine, Iraq, all over the planet. This hack happened internally to Facebook and Meta. And after it happened, as soon as it did happen, I knew it was happening. I started getting text messages on my phone saying, approve this login. And I'm getting logins from India and bouncing around different states in the U.S. And I'm saying, oh, heck no. And then I lost total control of the page. What the Country Music Time Machine page on Facebook now is what you see. It's just scam post. It has nothing to do with country music. I had 170,000 followers on there. It's down to about 150,000 now. It's just dying. But I did reach out to Facebook Meta. That, of course, is based in India. That's where their support team works. I explained to them what happened, told them that my page had been hacked. And they said, don't say that word. If you say hack, you'll either never get your page back again or it will take months. So they sent me on another track, and I opened a different kind of ticket. They said, prove to us that you are who you are. So I popped out my diplomatic passport. I popped out all the receipts of the page and how I have paid for the Beta Verified subscription and all that stuff. And even after all of that, proving that I'm the ugly face on camera, the voice you hear on the microphone, they would not give my page back. What is probably happening here, folks, there's an inside job going on in India. There's money being passed inside Facebook Meta, because how in the heck would you not give an owner of his page back when he proves to you that he's the owner, he's the face, he's the voice? It just never happened. So it will probably never come back. Some good news. I mean, there is an Instagram page that still exists, but I'm just so sick of Facebook. Honestly, I got Facebook years ago because I was stationed overseas. It helped me stay in contact with my family, but it is a scam machine based basically out of India. So I don't, maybe I'll come back to you one day and say, well, I got my page back. I don't know. I don't know if I'll continue on Instagram, but things are going good over on TikTok. TikTok is going well. We've got over 6,000 followers over there, so it's growing. So I'm trying that out to see how things are. You know, I don't know. It angers me. I got to tell you, when this happened to me, it mentally drained me. The only thing I could compare it to was PTSD in Baghdad, because I did do a tour in Iraq. And I worked so hard for this channel and telling this story about country music history for some scam lowlife, probably a group of lowlifes, to overtake my page. Facebook do absolutely nothing about it. Hurts, you know, especially when you've given so much time and love and effort to it. So if you want to hear the Country Music Time Machine, what you see on Facebook is totally 100% fake. If you want the real stuff, you got to watch YouTube. That's our headquarters. Or you can tune over to TikTok. If you use TikTok a lot, that's where we're at. But it's not on Facebook because those, I need a bleep button here. Those blank holes are really screwed me up. Anyway, let's see what Double D says. I call out every post and call it a scam every time I see it. Thank you, Double D. Somebody has to do it. You know, Facebook is not listening. They don't care. They're overwhelmed. I don't know, you know, but it's sad. It's, you know, you would think by being made a verified and have 170,000 followers and me being on the camera all the time that it'd be good enough to get by, but it was not. So Facebook and Country Music Time Machine no longer exists. It's total crap. Let me show you this. This is outside right now at my house. We got the candy canes up. We got the lights hanging from the top. We got the lights on the windows. Beautiful here in Tennessee at the little homestead of the Country Music Time Machine. All righty. Let me bring up some more stuff here. And if you're just chiming in, just tuned in, let me know where you're from. I don't want to see that again. That's ugly enough. All right, 2025 in review. Here on Facebook, I should have done a thing for TikTok because TikTok is just exploding over there. But our home is YouTube. This year on YouTube, we got 4.7 million views. I think we're over 9 million so far on YouTube, that's pretty darn cool. 9 million people tuned into your channel is good. And it's good for country music history because it allows us to tell the story, because the story should be told. Because while some of the things you hear on the radio, some of the things winning awards now is good country music, a lot of it isn't. So we got to tell you the history. We got to tell you the story. And I love doing it. It's what I do and what I enjoy. So things are going great on YouTube. 35,734 subscribers, more than that now, but I took that shot yesterday. So we got even more. So let's review a little bit. William May says, Kevin, beautiful house you have there. Yeah, it is. It was a lot of work overseas for almost 3 decades to get this little house. And I'm proud of it. And it's a lot of work, but I love it. And actually, I'm going to be here in the next few weeks, hopefully, going to be building a studio upstairs. This is only 1-level house, but the attic upstairs is massive. You could have a basketball game up there, and it's unfinished. So I'm thinking about finishing the upstairs and putting a studio up there because I still do a lot of voice acting and voice work. And because I do speak other languages, I speak English and Spanish and Portuguese and Russian, I have been hired by a great company called Babbel. Have you ever heard of Babel? So if you're studying any foreign languages in the future, or if you're studying Spanish, or if your English isn't too good, you could hear my voice on Babbel because I've been recording for Babbel. That's another job I can do in the background because, with the Facebook thing going down, lost a little bit of revenue there, but we're still happy. We're still rocking and rolling, and we're still loving life. All right, let's look at 2025 in review in country music history. And what you see on the screen are some, but not all, of those who passed away. We got Buck White, Melba Montgomery, Johnny Rodriguez, Jeannie Seeley, Raul Malo, which Raul just recently passed away. So he did lose some great country stars this year. And the 2025 in country music history review video comes out next week, I think, if my brain is working right. So if you want to see that, tune in next week. Did the format a little different this year, so hopefully you like it, but I'm reviewing every year. We always do it. We've started in 1940 and we're up to 2025 now. And how was country music in 2025? I don't know. It was a mixed bag. We had some great stuff, and I'm going to be covering some of the great stuff here. We had some stuff that just freaking blew my mind about country music this year. Was it country? Was it rock, rap, hip hop? I don't know. Got to take a sip of Coke and Peanuts. Now, I'll pop you a trivia question quick. I know one of you out there knows the answer to this trivia question. What famous country song, there's probably been others, mentions Coke and Peanuts in the lyrics? There's one, and I'll give you a hint. There's a pretty lady that sings it and a guest singer who looks like a rodent. Y'all chime in. I know if Joshua Johns is on, he knows what this is. Y'all let me know if you know what song talks about Coke and Peanuts in the title. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling here on the Country Music Time Machine. The biggest, most successful country star of the year is without a doubt Morgan Wallen. But it was a strange year for Morgan Wallen because at the CMAs, unless my brain is, I'm a CMA member. I should know this off the top of my head. But Morgan Wallen was shut out, which is amazing when he had all the number one songs. He was played on continuous rotations on all the radio stations. But he really was the biggest. I mean, some of his music I really like. I saw one of the albums that had an explicit warning label on it, and I ain't going to be listening to that crap. But, some of it I like. Some of it is weird to me, to my country ears. But some of it I think is good. I just think he needs to get a hold of his life a little bit and chill out and be a better boy backstage. But he was the man of 2025 like he was of 24 and 23. He probably outsold any artist this year in pop and everything. So how about that? The Lady of the Year, there's no competition on who the Lady of the Year is, especially at the CMA Awards and the ACM Awards. Your Entertainer of the Year, the one and only Lainey Wilson, which her favorite song for me this year was Somewhere Over Laredo. I know it's a play on Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but it's still just a great song. If you've never heard it, please, you should hear it because it's incredible. She's beautiful. And, one of the things I noticed was at the CMA Awards, she was singing and it was beautiful. I mean, she is so, sometimes when I think of vocal talent historically, I think of Patsy Cline. I think of Reba McEntire. I think of those levels of incredible voices. But Lainey Wilson should be up there because she was singing songs that were not hers of that opening monologue segment, and they were just kick-ass. Great job, Lainey Wilson. And she more than deserved what she got this year because she was good. And Fiona says, hi, Kevin. Hi, Fiona. All right. Double D Double R says, most was good. Some was a real stretch. The problem I had with the CMA Awards this year was the awards were great. I think the voting went very well if you love traditional sounding country music because people like Zach Top and Lainey Wilson won. And also Ella Langley. but those on stage were not singing country music. And I'm like, somebody, please, can I fast forward this? We needed more country music. At least we had Zach Top, and he was on stage with his beer, you know. But yeah. And Double D Double R knows the answer to that trivia question. What song has Coke and Peanuts in the lyrics? It is I Was Country When Country Wasn't Cool. And, you know, that's one thing that if I ever do find a lovely lady in my life, she'll have to know I might have been a U.S. diplomat. I might have traveled the world and speak all these languages, but inside here, I am a country boy. I got chickens. I got livestock back there. Whether you like it or not, I'm the real deal, you know. But, you know, it's just the way we are. It's just the way I roll, you know. It's the way I roll. Julian Santaguida is, Julian, I think you're up in Canada, if I'm remembering you correctly. But Julian says, I wonder what would country music be like for 2026. I hope new artists might go country. You know, Julian, I've been saying this and I'll say it again. There's been rumors that some of the more pop stars are going country. You know, the one I think about is Ed Sheeran. And when I first heard this news, I looked at the camera and I said, Ed Sheeran, if you have absolutely nothing to do in your life and you're watching the Country Music Time Machine on YouTube right now, respect and honor country music history and record a country song. People from other countries have done it and have kicked ass. We've had Australians, we have had Canadians. And, you know, it seems like if you want to hear real country music now, you got to go to Texas and you got to go to a lot of places that may not be in Middle Tennessee. At least the commercial stuff pumping out of Nashville is. A lot of cool bars around here. You can hear honky tonks, you can hear it. But I hope that the wave of traditional country sounding country music will rise a little more and take over. It's called neo-traditionalist. And I hope that Zach Top and Lainey Wilson and Ella Langley, Riley Green have success. But I really hope that they will give these other artists out there that I'm hearing in Nashville all the time that are great vocalists, write great music, not using AI. They should give them a chance. Will they do that? I don't know if they will or not, but we can always pray that they will. All right, whether we like it or not, this is where J-Cat puts plugs in his ears and says, Kevin's getting ready to say the B word. One of the big winners at the Grammy Awards this year, and also I think the Billboard Music Awards, was Beyonce. Now, I'm going to tell you like it is. I don't try to jump around the bush here. I've talked about racism in country music and in country music history. And I've explained to you that it has always existed. It existed more in the beginning days, but people like Charlie Pride came along, showed everybody that no matter the color of his skin, he could sing country music. And ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Pride sang country music. And I'll give it another credit to Darius Rucker. Darius Rucker can sing country music. He's a South Carolina boy. And, you know, that was his atmosphere. Well, what Beyonce did in the Cowboy Carter album was even, how can an album like that win an award and be called like country flavored? You know, you're not even country, but you win the award. Well, she won a lot of country awards at the weirder award shows like the Grammys and the Billboards. It's happened. And I hope it doesn't continue, because when Beyonce wins that, the folks who have worked in country music all their life, given their blood, sweat, and tears, do not get a chance. So there are Black artists, there are Latino artists out there who sing real country music, that traditional country music. They should be winning those awards, not someone who is already a multi-billionaire probably and doing it just because she knows she can, her fans will buy her music and spoiling the party in country music. That's my 2 cents. You know, you may agree, you may disagree. That's just what I think. And like I've always said, Beyonce has more talent in her little finger than I have in my entire body. She just decided not to use that talent to sing a country song. And even Beyonce herself said, this ain't a country album. This is a Beyonce album. Well, why should you be rewarded if you disrespect country music so badly? All right. Let's keep rocking and rolling here on the Country Music Time Machine on the Front Porch Podcast. Here in front of the Christmas tree, got some presents under it too. I don't know if any of them are for me. We'll see on Thursday, I reckon. The good news from 2025, and especially the CMA Awards, were the three folks you see there on the screen. Because I'm going to mention them in the 2025 year in review video that comes out next Thursday. And because of Zach Top, Ella Langley, Riley Green, at least the younger people are still getting exposed to real country music. And it needs to happen. It needs to grow more. Traditional country music should not be the minority. It should be the majority of what you hear. Traditionally and historically, that's what it's been. But in the last 20 years or so, that has changed. So it has been great. Zach Top won awards. Ella Langley and Riley Green won awards. And I hope they win more. They keep pumping out really good music. Let's go over to the chat group, because when I see the chat, I just want to read and tune in with what's going on here. Let's bring up old J-Cat here. Fun fact, the song I Was Country When Country Wasn't Cool was done in a studio, and the applause track was added. You know, they did a good job, because when I was a kid growing up with that song, I remember the applause track. I thought it was real, but yeah, it's Nashville. Probably wouldn't. R says there's an Adam in Scotland singing classic country. He's pretty good. You know, and that's the thing about it. There are plenty of people in Scotland, Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and in the U.S. that are singing traditional country music. But they aren't getting the credit they deserve. And he also says 11 does not belong in country. Let me explain to you what he means by that. It's like, 11? What do you mean 11 doesn't belong in country? Because I speak Spanish, I know all these Spanish words, and sometimes when I'm talking, when I dream at night, it's all mixed up. Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, and all that stuff. But my cat's name is 11, and she's around here somewhere, probably into something right now. But when I was living in Belize, my last station post, my house unit number was B11. When you say B11 in Spanish, it's Beyonce. So, I was told everybody, I'm living in Beyonce's house, so that's where it comes from. And my cat was named 11. That I got from Paraguay, which is just total, what do you call it? A coincidence. So, yes, I think she belongs in country if she'll sing a country song. I think she could. She's got talent. She's a beautiful woman. She has chosen not to. But Zach Top, Riley Green, and Ella Langley have chosen to sing country music. Cody Johnson, Lainey Wilson. There's others out there, but we need more of them, because what you're hearing nowadays is overblown rock hip-hop music, especially on country radio. All right. Also, this year, we celebrated Opry 100 years of the Grand Ole Opry, an important and integral part of country music and country music history. The sad thing is, here lately, the Opry ain't a whole lot of country, because I was there. Was I there in September or October? I can't remember when it was. And out of all the artists of the two, they play, a bunch of artists come on, there's an intermission, and a bunch of artists come on. Maybe one or two was singing traditional country music. The rest of them, I thought I was at a rock concert. It's like a church I went to down the street the other day here in my town. I thought I was going to church, but I didn't realize I was going to a rock concert. So, Opry is like that now, and they need more traditional country, not less. But we have to honor the Opry, because Opry was so important in the history of country music and bringing those those historical greats and legends on the stage. Now let's talk about Christmas. Since we're in the Christmas season, everybody's already on this channel been saying Merry Christmas to everybody. Don't forget to tune in to the Old Time Country Christmas special right here on the Country Music Time Machine. It's already there. If you want to hear some good old time country songs, Christmas songs, watch that one because it's going to probably trigger things in your head you hadn't heard in a long time. Because I was in a record store in Columbia, Tennessee, like a month ago. And that's what gave me the idea for it. So I kept going through these old records, and for $1 a piece, you get Merle Haggard's Christmas album or Ferlin Husky's Christmas album, and it was so cool. I said, I got to do something on that. So make sure you do watch that. Now let's talk about some of the best Christmas songs in country music history. And some of these are the best because they just sold billions of records, but some of these are the best because I just love them. And this is one that I truly love. One of the most poetic is Willie Nelson with Pretty Paper. And I know Roy Orbison did this one too. Not sure who did it first. I think Roy Orbison did it first. And Roy Orbison had an incredibly, oh, what a great vocal set of pipes he had. But Willie Nelson's Pretty Paper is just truly amazing. I love that song. I listen to it every single Christmas. And another one I listen to at Christmas, which I listen to Merle Haggard all the time. But Christmas song, one of the best Christmas songs ever made, If We Make It Through December. If you've never heard this song, tune into it. It's right here on YouTube. You can hear it on Spotify and Apple Music. Just If We Make It Through December. You talk about lyrics that are powerful. Basically, it tells a story of a family who were fighting to survive. Doesn't that sound familiar nowadays? To make it through December and have Christmas and get good Christmas presents. And historically, we've always had to deal with this. We've always had lean years and better years. But it goes back to the idea of what makes Christmas special is not all those gifts under your tree. It's the people across from you that you can spend time with and the loved ones that surround you. And that's what that song really is all about. I thought I heard a Mustang driving by in front of my house. It could have been. Here's another song, and I've talked about this song a lot over the years, especially on this channel. You love it or you hate it. Personally, me, I hate it because when I worked in radio, we had to play this song over and over, and I still have nightmares, and I'm still having PTSD from my phone ringing. Hello, Big 98 WSAX Nashville. What can I do for you? And the person says, will you play Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer? Like, God knows. There are other Christmas songs like Pretty Paper and Merle Haggard that we should hear. But it's a fun song. People have always loved it. It's a great song, but I just never really liked it a whole lot. It's funny. So, William says, Santa Claus is watching you. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. That's a great song from Ray Stevens. I say Santa Claus. Down south, they say Santa Claus is watching you. A lot of folks like Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I wish that song would get run over by a bulldozer. But anyway, here's another good one. I think this is probably my favorite one just because when I hear it, I think of Tennessee. My eyes are burning right now because maybe these lights are too bright. But I think about Tennessee, and that's Alabama's Christmas in Dixie. And I think I bought this when I was a young buck back in the early 80s. And it was I think it was early 80s when it came out, if my brain is working correctly. One of the greatest, softest. I heard another version of Christmas in Dixie recently with Home Free, the a cappella band with Alabama. So if you want to get in a Christmas mood, you got to listen to Christmas in Dixie. It's always so good. And you can't talk about Christmas songs without talking about Brenda Lee. Brenda Lee, Little Miss Dynamite, still going strong after all these years, but she was quite young. I think she was 13 when that song came out, made her a superstar and paid her groceries for the rest of her life. Rocking Around a Christmas Tree, one of the highest selling Christmas songs of all time. Love it. Still listen to it. Enjoy it so much. And finally, one more song to bring up here to talk to you about. And historically, this is not the biggest selling Christmas song of all time. The biggest selling Christmas song all the time, unless Mariah Carey has overtaken it, and we're not talking about Mariah Carey on this show, is White Christmas Bing Crosby. And I think is it still the biggest selling single of all time of any type of music? I don't know. We'll have to check that out. But really, to me, it's historically the most important, especially for the country genre, is Gene Autry's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Of course, it got made into a Christmas special that we watched as kids in the 60s and 70s and 80s, which I don't even know if they show it anymore because it probably doesn't have blood and violence and sex in it. So who wants to watch Rudolph? I love Rudolph. I love that song. I love the story. And Gene Autry was the perfect person for it. And while he was already a cowboy movie superstar, that song for him, like Rocking Around the Christmas Tree for Brenda Lee, made him a multimillionaire. And after that, it just expanded and went crazy. So good stuff. We love it. We love great Christmas music. All righty, folks, it is time for Kevin to say goodbye for right now. Not sure when I'll do this again. I'm going to take some time off for Christmas. Going to be building a studio upstairs, hopefully, if everything comes out all right. So I will be busy, but I'll still be popping videos up every day. Any kind of news happens, you watch for it right here on the Country Music Time Machine on YouTube. And if you have TikTok, go over there to TikTok and follow us over there. So from my family to yours, I really hope you have a great Christmas. Remember what Christmas is all about. It's not about all these presents and all this commercial stuff. It's not about, like me in Franklin, Tennessee today, fighting traffic, Christmas shopping. I went Christmas shopping, but I was fighting traffic. It's not all about that. It's about our Savior born in a manger in Bethlehem. That's what Christmas is supposed to be about. Sadly, so many people nowadays have no idea, especially young kids, what the connection is. That's the connection. It's Christ. And that's why I hope you have a great Christmas. To you and yours, I love you. God bless all of you. And as I always say around here, let's keep it country right here on the Country Music Time Machine.
There's a crackle on the radio, a story to be told about banjos on the hillside and voices paved in gold. Got a cold glass bottle, drop some peanuts in the coat, and I'm sitting on the front porch hanging on every note. The Front Porch Podcast, singing times gone by, with fiddle strings and heartache and the reasons why. We keep this music living, never let it fade so fast. Raise a toast to the legends on the Front Porch Podcast.